All right, I had absolutely no idea that wildfires were ripping through Europe right now, specifically Spain, France, and even some in the UK. So we're gonna check it out, see what the damage looks like, what the response looks like. Are they getting these stopped? I know there's a massive heat wave right now. We're having one as well. I think yesterday it was honestly miserable here in the States yesterday. It seems like the entire world's climate is just going berserk. So let's check it out. Horses free to escape massive wildfires in France. Jesus. This honestly looks like a war zone. Dude, it feels like something out of a horror movie. In Biscarrosse, I know I'm pronouncing that incorrect. Southwestern France, horses were set free into the wild to escape fast-moving fires. Someone says, that's a good owner. Set them free. Animals will find a way to safety, especially horses. I'm sure that they can find their way, unless they were like in the middle of it and they got surrounded. All right, responsible owners would have evacuated them long before this. All right, this is a really dumb comment I see right here, this second one. As somebody who grew up in Southern California and had to deal with wildfires pretty much every year of my entire life, when wildfires start, they move extremely fast. So no, responsible owners wouldn't have time to evacuate them long before it because they roll in and it's like a blink of an eye. Before you know it, it's just, there's flames literally everywhere. Is it possible to control the European wildfires?
This big. It's not something you can feasibly do. They're just too intense. I mean, we've seen in France, the fire has created its own weather system. The updraft is so big, it's created a kind of cumulus cloud above the fire. So when a fire gets really, really large, it creates a huge updraft, drawing in lots and lots of air, which fuels the fire further. And as that updraft forms, it creates a huge column of rising air. And that is the process that ultimately results in a cumulonimbus cloud, a thunderstorm as we'd know them. And that kind of rapid rising and falling of air, that creates the condensation particles that form the cloud, and also lightning. And this rain will fall, but because it's so hot, it normally won't reach the fire. It will evaporate midair. And so you think about rain not even being able to put out a fire, and the scale of that compared to what you're able to pump out of a plane or a lorry. You can't actually control or extinguish fires like this. All you can do is you can get ahead of them, you can bulldoze vegetation, and you can evacuate people.
Do you guys have the big like jet tankers that drop that red stuff? There's a term for it. What is it called? Oh, fire! I don't even need to look it up. Fire retardant. They drop that like crazy red fire retardant that stops the fires. That's I think that's what he's kind of talking about. You either clear out the vegetation or you drop that stuff, so when the fire actually gets to it, it just has nothing to burn. First comment: Poseidon may be able to lift the ocean and help out, though I suppose the salt would be an issue. What kind of comment is that? All right. I'm not reading that one. Why do you guys always do the and surrendering? American exceptionalism is wild because what you do, you mean they're bragging about who has the biggest wildfires. Are Americans in here bragging that we have bigger wildfires? Someone says, welcome to the next 50 years, folks. This is crazy. Let me know if you've lived in Europe for a long time, if you're like an older person, were there crazy fires back in the day? I have no frame of reference. I don't know. Like, I know my experience living in California, but I have no idea like what the wildfires look like in Europe. This looks insane. God damn, that is so big. Yeah, man, you're not gonna put that out. Someone says Spain won the World Cup only to battle fires. Dude, people are ruthless online. Poor animals. Yeah, you never think about that, right? All the animals that like live in the natural habitat. May all living beings be safe. May the forest fires be extinguished quickly. What does the weather look like tomorrow, or probably today for you guys in France? Holy shit. It was 100 degrees today, or 64. And tomorrow, a little bit cooler with cloud coverage, but still, oh, damn, it's hot. It is hot. Worst crisis since World War II. That's an insane statement. Is it seriously that bad? I didn't know about this, you guys. I literally found out about it this morning. I saw one clip and I was like, whoa. And yeah, we put together all these.
This shape-shifting and cruelly fickle wildfire advancing any which way, defying expectations and the machinery of the state. From the air, the devastation is total. In the forests west of Bordeaux, a week after they started, fires continue to rage large and small. Putting them out in 32-degree heat is no mean feat, and these volunteers are giving everything they've got. As they leave, another fire starts up, another team arrives. Just one ember can become a blaze again within minutes. David works in sales, but he's taken the week off to help.
What time did you start this morning?
6.
6 a.m.
Yes.
And how many fires do you think you put out now?
I don't know.
It's like, as someone who lives here, what does that do to you to see these areas destroyed like this?
It's horrible. First thing is family first. So my family is now far from here. And second thing is home, of course. And third thing is landscape and everything. And we hopefully it's going to be okay soon.
This is a race against the clock, and an army of volunteers has descended to provide backup for firefighters in Gironde, struggling to contain France's largest wildfire in 75 years.
You're a baker.
They know how it started yet? Like, was it arson or was it natural? I know fires can start naturally in forests, but, you know, usually there's some type of arson or someone flicks out a cigarette or something and starts an entire...
Hello,
you know, lights an entire
lawyer,
forest
but today
on fire.
You're a firefighter.
Yes, because he's my husband and I wanted to help.
Damien has repurposed the tractor from his vineyard, and he, his wife and their friends drove it down yesterday.
We're helping because the fire is everywhere, as you can see. There's a big one there, another big one there.
Yeah.
So the idea is to help on the small spots where the firemen are too busy to do this.
We follow them a few miles down the road to what has now become a crucial hub, this local pond.
This is the centre of operations here. There's already a queue of trucks waiting to fill up their tanks from this lake here. It's an oasis in an otherwise smouldering forest, and it's here that they'll restock before going back to help put out the fires.
Damn.
Emergency service workers have been scrambled from all over France. We even spotted police riot vehicles, their water cannon repurposed for dousing trees. Forest workers say they've never seen anything like it.
The planes arrived too late. When you think about the men and women fighting these flames, they're 20 to 30 meters high. We're talking about 800 degrees here. We can't get close. If the planes don't get here, it's over.
Climate change driven by fossil fuel pollution has ripened conditions for a fire like this and scenes like this one. When it began, there were just 6 people staying at this makeshift evacuation centre in Bordeaux. Now there are nearly 7,000, including Lexanne and her son.
On the first night, it was very, very, very hard to sleep because of the lights. And he's ill.
Yeah, the biggest thing is you just got to get out. Like, if you have an evacuation order, get out. I remember when I was a kid, we probably got evacuated 5 or 6 times. Every single time my dad would stay behind with hoses and start spraying down the house, spraying down whatever he could, getting everything wet. And I'm like, Dad, we should probably leave. But I was so young, I had no idea. Let's see here. Why don't they just dig a trench or put sand down? What these dumb comments. I can't handle it. Someone says, I don't think it's clicking to people how bad this really is.
100,000 people.
Wait, hold on. Did that say they'll have to evacuate 1 million people? We'll have to evacuate 1 million people if fire reaches Bordeaux. This was 2 days ago, and I think it did. There's
800,000 people inside Bordeaux. So if the fire reaches the city of Bordeaux, it means that we have to evacuate at least 1 million people. So it shows you how insane. This fire is enormous. This is the most highest risk we have never seen in France.
Does it scare you?
It will be the fire of the century. The 800.
I didn't know it was this bad, y'all. All right. Hopefully, any of my French viewers that are close to this, stay safe. All right. Keep your head on a swivel. Listen to those evacuation orders. All right, comments, prayers from USA. Climate change will manifest as a series of disasters viewed through phones with footage that gets closer and closer to where you live until you're the one filming it. That's a crazy statement. Also, kind of real, right? Sending love from California and praying for everyone concerned. We pray for rain in Bordeaux. Just devastating and heartbreaking. Please be safe. Oh, I totally forgot about the smoke. Yeah.
El cielo tenía que estar así. Pero han llegado ya todos los humos de los incendios de Madrid y de Toledo. Mirad cómo están las torres. Todo es una tristeza. Todo el cielo está así. Todo. Madre mía.
Someone says literally going to Spain in a few days. Yeah, I'm not too sure about that. Is it getting better? We are flying on the 2nd of August. What is wrong with people? Is it getting better? I have my vacation planned. Really want to know. Is the fire over yet? Experience from California. Stay indoors. Only go out with N95 mask or equivalent. Yeah, the smoke is horrendous. Someone says, wrap this up. Where's the water? What's Spain doing? People just literally will say anything. Literally blocking out the sun. Oh my gosh.
Mira, para que te hagas una idea, mira. Mira cómo está todo. ¿Ves? Nada que ver cómo está ahí. Mira, para que te hagas una idea.
That's a lot of smoke. Title says, be very careful and don't leave the house because breathing this is deadly. Yeah. I remember one time we had a fire. Like, we had a highway that would go to our house, and we would come from the city, a small city, but we would come from the city down this road. And then once you get on the highway, you go up about maybe like 10 kilometers. And when I would go down there and they evacuated our home and blocked it off before we were able to get up there, like our animals were still in the house. You have to show your ID to get by, but even just rolling the window down and the smoke coming in was so intense. I had to drive through it though. Spanish firefighters save farm animals as wildfires devastate the region. Oh, dude, that's so sad.
No quiere, bro.
I mean, they're saving them, but...
Que te hemos salvado, bicho.
Mira, hacer así para que no le se haga la capa de agua.
Just a little calf. Someone says, saving them from being cooked just to cook them later. Oh my God, dude. People are ruthless. Giving love in horrible conditions. So much compassion. I mean, they probably are going to eat them later. French wildfires captured through POV camera. Damn, dude. That's gonna jump. It's gonna jump that road. Yep, look, there, it's starting up. No, you gotta get out of there, man. Someone says this should be the 50-euro bill. Actually, it's actually kind of a hard picture, but I don't think so. I saw that they were redesigning the euro bills. I think we're gonna do a video on it later this week.
Do not travel to France and Spain. That's the advice if you're heading to areas affected by devastating wildfires raging.
Hold on, let me go back to that. I want to see where they are at. Oh, there's some in Italy too. Damn. What island is that right there? I'm not even sure.
Is affected by devastating wildfires.
I don't think I've landed there on GeoGuessr.
In particular, around Madrid and most of southwestern France. Spain has declared a national emergency, and large parts of France are being evacuated as over 300,000 people have been forced to flee the inferno, with emergency services considering a total evacuation of Bordeaux. The wildfire in France is so large that it's caused a fire cloud that generates its own thunder and lightning. More than 2,500 firefighters and nearly 3,000 military personnel and police have been called in to battle a massive 20-kilometre wide fire front in southwestern France, in one of the largest wildfires since World War II. They're also being helped by volunteers, including local farmers, as a row of tractors was seen heading towards the blaze. UK travel guidance urges holiday goers to check with your travel provider before going to any of the affected regions.
Damn. Someone says, and we just landed in France. Someone says, already here, mate. Hate to tell you, I'm already in Spain. a lot of British people go vacation in Spain. That makes sense. Hundreds of thousands flee homes as wildfires
this
rage
morning,
in France
firefighters
and Spain.
in Europe racing to contain the massive infernos tearing through Spain and
That's insane, dude.
France. The flames apocalyptic, forcing Europe's biggest batch of evacuations since World War II. More than 350,000 people across the two countries.
And this is one of the shelters that's been set up for displaced families. There are hundreds of people here, and there were new evacuation orders outside of Madrid, so there's seemingly no end in sight for these families.
The police come and started screaming in the neighborhood, like, you have to get out, you have 20 minutes, evacuate.
At least one person has died. Aerial footage showing the extent of the fire as firefighters battle the flames.
Okay, you guys do have them. It's kind of a smaller plane. This is what I was talking about earlier. The big jet tankers, the ones that I usually see are like big airliners.
From the sky and on the ground. A drone capturing the wildfire's rapid spread, encroaching upon a highway and forcing first responders to rush away. Near Madrid, a nautical club burned to the ground, leaving nothing but charred husks and ruined buildings. And in France, a cloud phenomenon forming called pyrocumulonimbus, known as fire clouds, where a wildfire grows so powerful that its heat and smoke creates its own thunderstorm, often igniting new flames. An equestrian center releasing a pack of horses during evacuations. American Olivia Moore and her family temporarily evacuating from their home in Bruges, just north of Bordeaux, after the smoke started posing a threat to their health.
I think because there's been not just pine trees or trees burning, it's cars, it's houses, it's just this toxic, and I mean, it's almost like there's a mist kind of around it. It was just very, very intense.
And this situation remains unpredictable. You may be able to see some of the spots still smoldering in the distance behind me, and we are feeling the temperatures rising here. The conditions are ripe for these fires to continue spreading, and Joe, that's why officials are hoping they can get ahead of these flames.
All right, we got a comment here. Very important comment from probably some dumb person. Single and retired from Florida. Thank you very much for sharing that with us. So, Canada's on fire, Europe on fire, a bit of the USA. What's next? Yeah, the Canadian fires as well. I heard about those.
Es muy fuerte como está Madrid por los incendios en la sierra, mira. Zona sur.
This has got to be Madrid, right?
Zona norte.
God.
Flipa. Increíble.
Oh, it's really thick over there. What is it? If you see white smoke, this is what I remember. White smoke means that the fire is being put out. Black smoke means that the fire is burning and getting larger. I think I remember that correctly. I think that's right. Jeez. Doesn't it? It looks like something out of a horror movie. Someone says low key thought this was someone's scalp. Everybody thinks they're a comedian. Argentina got salty. All right. All right. Let's get back on track here. This is actually sad. Yes, it is. A little bit of humor, a little bit of sadness. Okay, this is getting extremely close to the city. Give all of these firefighters a massive bonus. That's what I say. All right, thick black ash-coated roof terraces in the north of Madrid center, the Spanish capital, where 70,000 people were evacuated. Someone says, I blame Trump.
This here's how rain likely helped set the stage for Europe's devastating wildfires. Data from the EU's climate monitoring service Copernicus shows that Western Europe experienced an unusually wet winter this year, with long-lasting rain and
a lot
frequent
of vegetation
storms in January and February. And all this water led to a surge in grasses and other vegetation. Then the weather flipped. In May, temperatures soared in France and Spain just as the rain stopped, creating a flash drought that parched the landscape, turning all that vegetation tinder dry. Now, climate change is loading the dice in favour of flash droughts, making them more frequent and more intense, scientists say. A hotter atmosphere is able to suck up more moisture from plants and soils, priming the landscape for the kind of intense, destructive wildfires we're seeing in...
I gotta look really quick. All right, so French officials report that the destructive wildfires burning in regions like the Gironde mostly stem from human carelessness, such as discarded cigarette butts, camp barbecues, or unsafe outdoor work. So the fires are starting from humans. That sucks. Someone says, so the whole world's on fire. Cool. I know, right? It's like with all the horrible news that we constantly have, now wildfires literally everywhere. Someone says these fires are crazy. We have to do something. Well, looks like they were started from humans. Don't throw cigarette butts out the window. What is this? Oh, they're getting water from someone's pool. Jeez. It's nuts because, like, it's wild to see the trees catch on fire and then they kind of just like burn out, but they still stand there. It's really the grass that does it. Just shows we don't sleep and play snooker all the time. We are there in the face of danger whenever we are called. Billions are spent on weapons of war, but when it comes to fighting massive wildfires, they don't have the resources they need. That tells you where the priorities are. I don't know. I don't feel like Spain and France... France spends a lot on weapons of war, but I don't feel like Spain does.
Europe is burning. Could Britain be next? Hundreds of thousands of people are being evacuated as wildfires tear through parts of France, Spain and Greece. French President Emmanuel Macron has even called emergency crisis talks. So is the UK actually prepared? Britain isn't immune to this natural disaster. Over 300 wildfires have been burning across the UK this year so far. During the
300 wildfires in the UK this year?
2022 heat wave, firefighters tackled thousands of wildfires as record high temperatures turned grassland into fuel. The UK has strengthened its response since then, with new specialist wildfire teams and almost £100 million being invested in fire and rescue equipment. But wildfire risk is growing as our climate gets hotter and drier. Europe's wildfire crisis is a warning. With yet another heat wave on the way, is the UK preparing early enough, or are we waiting until it's too late? Europe is
Someone says Britain are fine because we have water next to us. Wouldn't it be Britain is fine? All right, we're not going to get into that. All right, guys, stay safe out there. All my French, my Spanish viewers, my Greek viewers, keep an eye out. Keep a head on a swivel. Thoughts are with all of y'all. And yeah, nothing else to say. Let's get out of here. Hopefully this situation improves and they get these fires out. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.